So Chibuzo was knocked out by Real Madrid in the second leg at the Bernabeu, and then but that was you know who I'm talking about, was knocked out by Atletico Madrid. The two so-called goats were not able to make it beyond the round of 16. You're welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports. My name is Johnbinho, the hard tackling and the super dynamic with Maestro. A combination of Makalele and Xavi, Kante and Andre Pele, where intensity and tenacity meet craftiness and guile. And I've got my usual suspects in the house, Rotimi all the way from London, and Akachukwu here in Abuja, in Nigeria, where we are looking to run away to someday. All right, you're welcome, guys. Akachukwu, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Who told you I'm looking to run away? I love Nigeria.
All right, it's okay. I won't say much. I won't say beyond that. Rotimi, you're welcome.
Yeah, and it seems Aka is living in La La just like PSG and Chibuzo.
Yeah, why you say only PSG? What about Madawasu?
No comments, bro.
Yeah, no comment. Like I expected. Okay, let's actually start with that. Let's start with Chibuzo, that is Lionel Messi and PSG. What do you think happened to them on that day? They were leading by goal to nil, which was 2-0 on aggregate, and then it just happened.
Nothing happened to them. They were leading 1-0. 1-0 is not a lead. Against the best team ever in the history of the competition, Real Madrid. So you're leading 1-0. It's not a big deal. I don't think it was a big deal as a lot of people portrayed it, because it's Madrid and it's not like they were leading 3-0 from the first leg or 4-0. It wasn't. It was just the manner in which they considered the goals. I guess they totally lost their backbone, lost everything, lost their heads. So I think it's rather the manner. But in a PSG Madrid time, Madrid going through is not surprising at all. Madrid are a really good team right now. A really, really good team. They have one of the best players in the world. Benzema, and the rest of their team is solid. There's quality everywhere in every position, so it's not a surprise. At this level, having Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar on one team, it's not realistic to win with that team. It's not very realistic, and I think even if they had gotten past Madrid, they would have been found out by the quarterfinals or semi-finals. Because at the top level, you can't play against teams like that, and you have 2 or 3 passengers in your team that are not doing what they are supposed to do. They are not defending with the team. So I'm not too surprised. PSG are not so great that we would expect them to beat Madrid. They've not gotten to that level yet.
I think I would want to ask Rotimi. This one is about Ronaldo. That was you and Atletico Madrid, because Ronaldo. It was expected that he's the one who knows how to knock out Diego Simeone's team, but he was nowhere to be found. What happened, Rotimi? Why is there silence?
I think we lost it.
It's simply a result of playing in a terrible team. If you look at what happened, how many chances did Cristiano really have over 2 legs? The Man U played poorly. The management, I'm still not convinced by Ragnick. I think he's a terrible manager because the attack is still stagnant. He still keeps on picking that guy that is playing against us, Harry Maguire. He makes terrible decisions. If Maguire did not play that match, there's a very real possibility that it would have gone into extra time or penalties, because the goal was as a direct result of Maguire's stupidity. But aside from that, you can't go over 120 minutes 180 minutes in the Champions League and only score 1 goal. It's not reasonable. You have to be able to produce chances and you have to be able to convert those chances. Mine didn't do that. And as you can see, he brought Pogba into the match with about 20 or 30 minutes to go. Another managerial blunder. So I just believe it was Simeone outsmarted him. Atletico didn't really play very well, but they were able to, play their usual defensive game, control the ball, and hit Man U when they could, and they scored. If you look at Atletico this season, they haven't really been on form. They are struggling for morale, but when 2 terrible teams play each other, one team has to win. and the team with the terrible manager won.
It's simple. I can see you're just blaming Man U and the manager.
I disagree with so many things that this guy said. I disagree with so many things.
Please go on.
How can you say that they didn't create chances, they didn't do this, they didn't do that? Is Ronaldo not their best player? If you're one of the best players in the world, you have to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. You're waiting for people to create chances for you over 180 minutes. You're waiting. He didn't do anything. In the second leg, I don't even think he had a shot on target. Now, then you said bringing him. Wait, chill. He's 37. So that's why I want you to admit that he's no longer at the top of his game. He's no longer at the top of world football. He's not there. He's just a quality player. You understand? I want you to admit that.
He's still the best finisher the game has ever seen. He's still the best finisher in the game.
Sure. He's not the best finisher right now. He's not the best finisher right now. He's not even close. He's not as close a finisher to Haaland or to Lewandowski. Don't say that. Ronaldo is not the best finisher in the world right now.
You can't expect Ronaldo, a 37-year-old man, regardless of how.
That's fine. I'm not holding it against him. He's old. I don't expect so much from him. Okay, let's leave Ronaldo. Let's leave Ronaldo.
He hasn't been that for 10 years. So you can't expect Cristiano to. The last time he dribbled and did all that was when he was wearing 9 for Madrid. And that was his first season at Madrid. Since then, he hasn't been regular. He hasn't been able to do all of that.
Ronaldo, you said he was a managerial blunder to bring in Pogba in the second half. So he should have started Pogba. Is that what you mean? Or he shouldn't have brought him in at all?
No. It wasn't the fact that he substituted Pogba in that was the problem. It was how late he put Pogba in. It was really.
So he should have put Pogba early. What would Pogba have done?
If Man U went into the halftime needing a goal, Pogba should have come on at halftime. Man U were not going to create chances. You had nothing to lose. Why go that deep into the second half before you put Pogba? It's stupidity.
So bringing in Pogba will create chances. In my books, like they were worse. Once Rashford and Pogba came in, Man U were worse.
No, you are making a blunder. What happened? The mistake, right, was removing Bruno Fernandes in the first place. He removed Bruno, he put someone else. Then when he realized that he needed someone to sit in the hole, he put in Mata, who has not played all season. He realized he should not have removed Bruno, but it was too late, so he had to put in the best substitute, which was Mata, and that was another managerial blunder. Why take out Bruno when you are still going to put Mata in the game? Foolishness. Like there's no way.
I disagree with you. He has seen the rest of his team. They play trash. Bruno played trash. There's no point leaving him in the game. Whether he brought Mata later or then, there was no point. He didn't need Bruno in the game. He felt Bruno couldn't do anything to help him. And he wasn't wrong. So I don't know why you'll be blaming Ragnick and you won't blame the players. And you keep blaming Maguire. Maguire is not quality. We know that already. That's a given. So you can't hinge your hopes of qualifying or not on Maguire.
Why does he keep playing? If he's not terrible and the manager knows he's a terrible player, why does he keep playing? There are alternatives. There's Victor Lindelof.
Unfortunately, I don't have an answer to that question, but it is what it is.
That is what I mean when I talk about managerial blunders. Stupidity. You don't go into the Champions League with naivety and stupidity. Maguire should not have played that game. You don't have a good enough squad to even overcome Maguire. Come on, it's like the Lakers playing Russell Westbrook every day. It's shameful. Well, that's what I have to say regarding.
It's all right.
Anyway, your goat is out. Your goat and his friend Chibuzo are both out.
They're out. Both of them, they're out. So let's quickly go to the next, the next round of the Champions League, which is the quarterfinals. We have City playing against Atletico Madrid, Chelsea against Real Madrid. That's the big one. Then Benfica against Liverpool, Villarreal against Bayern Munich. I know Liverpool fans are very confident that they will defeat Benfica. Real Madrid fans are thinking like, this is vengeance time against Chelsea. I'm sure City fans are not very confident because this is the kind of team that Simeone likes to play. The kind of team like City. Team that they know, okay, this team is, so that they'll just sit back, swallow the pressure and hit them on the counter-attack. But it all depends. So let me start with Akachukwu. What are your thoughts? Quickly.
Yeah, I love the draws. Definitely as a Liverpool fan. Benfica is what we wanted. In fact, even up to the semi-final stage, we'd be meeting the winner. If we beat Benfica, that's Liverpool. If Liverpool beats Benfica, we'd be meeting the winners of Bayern versus Villarreal. So it was a very fair draw. Yeah, and I think Bayern would say the same. Madrid and Chelsea game, it's both ways. Anybody can win. In fact, the 4 teams on that side of the draw, any of them can come out and be in the finals comfortably. I think I disagree with what you said. I don't think Atletico would want to play against City. I think they would have wanted other teams rather than City. I don't think anybody wants to play with City. Even Liverpool, nobody wants to play with City until you have to play them. So, it was a fair draw. I don't think any team can really complain about the draw. It was a fair draw. My thoughts or my predictions would be, it's difficult, but I would predict Madrid to go through. Madrid or City. If City can beat Atletico, they would beat the winners of Chelsea or Madrid. If City don't go through and Atletico go through, I would pick Madrid to be in the finals. And obviously on this other side of the draw, I'd pick Liverpool to beat Bayern and to win it all. So those are my thoughts.
Rotimi, do you agree with the thoughts of the Liverpool fan? Why is Rotimi taking so long to reply? To answer?
He has this habit of, hyping Pep, so that when Liverpool eventually beats him to the title, he can say they beat one of the greatest managers the game has ever seen. That's Aka's excuse for hyping. Man City are going to go out to Atletico. Man City's worst nightmare. Man City do not want to play a team like Atletico. They know they are not going to see chances. They are not going to get them, and we all know Pep is going to overthink that game and probably start Kyle Walker at false 9 or something. We know the semi-finals is simply going to be Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Bayern. And this draw was done in a very suspicious way that a Madrid team is going to be in the final, regardless of who it is. Very suspicious, but it's UEFA.
I like the fact that you guys are writing off Chelsea. That was what
both of us wrote off Chelsea. Did you notice? Yeah, both of us wrote off Chelsea. So the thing is, to be honest, maybe I was being biased. Anybody can come out of the Chelsea Madrid tie. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter and on social media about Madrid being one of the teams Chelsea has never lost to in their history. All that stuff does not matter. Chelsea are not favorites. This is where Madrid, this is their backyard. This is what they do for a living. This is Champions League knockout stage. So Chelsea are never going to have it easy. It's going to be a tough tie. It might even be 50-50. But both parts, anybody can progress, to be honest. Anybody can progress. Notice I said 4 of those teams, any of them could be in the finals. Notice I said that any of those 4 teams could be in the finals.
And you see yourself beating Bayern Munich if you were to meet Bayern Munich in the semi-finals?
Yeah, I really do. I prefer Bayern. I prefer to meet Bayern. John, I prefer to meet Bayern than to meet Chelsea or Man City over 2 legs. I would pick Bayern.
The term when they beat someone, when they beat someone black and blue. When Bayern catch you, when they are done, they'll be like, when they take you to the hospital, the doctors will say, no, what happened? Was it trailer that jammed these guys? We'll be looking for.
It's just April.
I think you are on Liverpool. Maybe because we see them week in, week out, we feel Liverpool rarely get out of gear 1 when they play in the Premier League. They rarely do it. So we don't see their quality. I believe if they play a Bayern Munich team, that is going to be one of those games where you're like, wow, these guys are.
This one is not there. It's not the great one. Amazing. Baba, they will put Liverpool in the wall and punch their head into the wall like One Punch Man, Saitama. Forget all these talks we are saying. This one,
John. Let me ask you one question, and please be very objective. Is this? Will you agree with me, or do you see some reason if I tell you that this is one of the worst Bayern teams for a few years?
Because Nagel is trying to settle down. Yes, I know. I agree.
So that's exactly the reason why I just told you I'd prefer to meet them to City or Chelsea. They are a tough team, but you have to play tough team. So if you want to play a tough team, I'd rather play Bayern than play Manchester City. Do you understand?
I understand you now. We'll talk when it's time for semi-finals or when it's time for finals. Let's quickly switch over to basketball before time runs out. We're not supposed to be talking about teams that are not in the top 3, top 4 now in their conference. Like, it's a waste of time. We should be talking about the Sun, the Warriors,
honest,
Miami.
I see where you are going with this, John, and I 100% agree with you. We're not supposed to talk about the LA Lakers. They've been shameful. They've been surprisingly disappointing, and not even get any screen time, any audio time. That's how bad they've been. They need to reflect within themselves and decide what it means to be a Laker. But if you look at the other conference, that teams that are worth speaking about, look at Steph Curry's Golden State, you look at Devin Booker's Phoenix Suns. They've been, but two teams you have to look out for now is the return of Chris Paul and the return of Steph Curry. Both players likely not come back until the end of the playoffs. How will these teams cope until then?
Yeah, who will replace these guys? That's the thing now. Jordan Poole will slot in for Curry. Yes, might not have the effectiveness of Curry, but on a good day, Jordan Poole is also an explosive player. The Warriors will need Andrew Wiggins to, step aggressive, be more consistent, basically, because he's been inconsistent, even though this was his first All-Star season. That's by the way. But now the question for the Suns are actually playing well, even without Chris Paul. They're doing it against even the best of teams, even without Chris Paul. But now the issue will be, how would they be able to do it in the playoffs? Because last year they got in against the Bucks, and that was when Chris Paul should have gotten his first ring, but they were bullied majorly. Besides, the fact that what is he called now? Antetokounmpo, was on the top of his game. His sidekicks were able to step up. Chris Middleton and Cole, they were able to step up when it was necessary to step up. And stepping up meant that they were able to give Antetokounmpo the support that he needed. But that's just by the way. Akachukwu, what are your thoughts on, what do you think, the chances you think they stand, so far?
I'm most interested in the East. I think the West is pretty straightforward. I think Phoenix will win the West, regardless of who gets into the playoffs. If the Lakers can get in, if they can get AD fit, if Curry is fit. Also, there's questions about if Kawhi and PG are going to be available. But all those to me are regardless. I think Suns will come out of the West. They are the strongest team in the West, even without Chris Paul. So with Chris Paul, definitely they would win the West, in my opinion. So the interesting place is the East. You have the Heat, you have Suns. You have the Nets, and then one team that is very interesting to me that I think has gone under the radar kind of is the Celtics. They are playing really well, and everybody is back. Everybody's fit. When I say everybody, I mean they are big three guys: Tatum, Smart, and what's this guy's name? Jaylen Brown. So when you look at those three guys, they are fit. They are playing their best game. They are winning games. So they are getting into their stride. Those guys are dangerous, and they have a good coach. They have good players around them. So I think they are a threat. I think there are 3 or 4 teams that could easily come out of the East: the Heat, the Nets, Philly, and then Celtics. I'll give Celtics a chance. I don't know if a lot of people are giving Celtics a chance, but I really would tip them to beat anybody on their day.
Do you see Antetokounmpo? Yeah, sorry for cutting you short. Nah,
sorry, I didn't know I forgot about Bucks. I didn't mention Bucks.
I was wondering why.
I've totally forgot. So that's 5 teams. The East is going to be tough this year, and then there's the Bulls. The Bulls, I don't think they have what it takes to get up there, but they would be a tough team for any of these top teams I called. They would be a very tough matchup, and they would take anybody into it deep into, like, maybe game 6, game 7, any of those teams. So the Bulls are also a really good team too. The East is
What
what
about
would be interesting this year.
with James Harden and Embiid?
Yeah, I see them as one of the good teams. I think they could do well, but I really don't see them beating the Bucks. Also, if the Nets have Simmons, if Simmons plays, I don't see the Philly beating them. So Philly, I don't know. They could get maybe to the conference finals, but I don't see them getting out of the East. I really, not really.
Okay, so I think I agree with most of your points. Okay, but one thing you aren't taking into account is the Suns. I accept they are a really good team. They play good basketball. And they are master of the mid range. I think that's their greatest strength. But every time they came up against a decent big, they've come up short. The main reason they lost to the Bucks was because Giannis was phenomenal. I think that was Giannis' best series in the playoffs last year because he utterly dominated 18. 18 is green, is fresh, is new. He can't really defend a quality big. So if they were to come up against Philly, they definitely lose. If they were to come up against Bucks again, they would lose again because all it takes is for Bucks to shoot 50, 60 points and they'd win most of the games. If you recall, before Anthony Davis went down last year, I think the Lakers were up 2-1, yeah? And the moment AD went down, they lost the remaining games. So I believe if they were to come up against Memphis Grizzlies, that would be the toughest game in this side of the playoffs because they have Jaren Jackson Jr., who is utterly amazing, and they have Ja Morant that is also massive in the paint. If they were also to come up against the Lakers, don't write them out. If they were to come up against the Lakers, they are not a quality team. Well, when you can't defend the paint, it changes things. So I believe the Lakers also have a better chance at knocking out the Suns than knocking out maybe Memphis or Golden State. So I believe the team that Lakers should even aim to face should be the Suns.
Found a way to sneak in the Lakers, eh?
No, I
disagree. Because last year, Giannis dominated 18 in the finals, but it was a learning curve for 18. 18 is a young guy, so it was really his first deep playoff run. So I could understand why he wasn't able to match up to Giannis. But then you can't tell me after that experience of losing in the finals and then coming this year, another regular season, he has played well throughout this regular season. And then he's getting into the playoffs. He's getting into the playoffs as a better player with more experience. So you cannot just assume that any big that comes up against him is going to bully him or something like that. I totally disagree. Against Embiid, he would hold his own. Even against Giannis would find it tougher than last year. Giannis is definitely better than him and would most likely take advantage of him. But he would find it way tougher than last year, in my opinion. 18 has actually gotten better. He has gotten better. We can see that he has gotten better.
The thing with you don't need. It's not about one playoff run or two playoff run before you become, as in really good in the playoffs in the postseason. If you look at the greatest players to have played this game, if you look at MJ, he needed a couple of postseasons to get under his belt before he understood how it worked. Even LeBron James needed a couple of postseasons. What's his name? James Harden, utterly terrible in the postseason. You see, so it's a different kind of game than the regular season. That's why some people play trash in the regular season, play well in postseason, or it's the other way around. 18, one postseason run, one run to the finals is not going to be able to teach him the lessons he needs to learn. It's still going to make some mistakes against Giannis. And you said 18 has gotten better this regular season, yeah? But the same goes for Giannis and Embiid. They have been, I think this should be Embiid's best ever season in his entire career. I wouldn't say the same for Giannis because Giannis has been immense for a couple of years, but this is Embiid's best season, so he's obviously gotten better. If he were to play 18, it would be a no contest because there are some tricks and tips, things like kicking, double teaming and kicking that Embiid is a master of. 18 would still find it difficult. The moment you crowd 18 in the paint, I don't think he will have the the experience and to know who to kick it out to and when to kick it out and when to try to force his way to the basket. That's what I just believe anyway. It might take him a couple of years. I still believe he'll be the best big man in the game in a few years' time, but it's maybe 3, 4, 5 years too early.
I'm just saying, don't write. I'm just saying, don't write them off in the playoffs against anybody.
When is the next big man in the next few years? Yeah, it's time for us to wrap up, so that the next time
before we wrap up, I just have one question. You know, I've been seeing a lot of names thrown into the MVP conversation. Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, even though he's had his worst shooting slump since December. I don't know how his name is there. Ja Morant, you know, Devin Booker. But there's a name that just Nikola Jokic, you know, but there's a name that just keeps floating under the radar, and he seems to have the same record as most of these players, which is Luka Doncic. He has the same record as Joel Embiid, I believe. He has
all these things. You're just beating on the bush.
He has a better record as Ja Morant. So Jokic, why is
this year? There's no need for noise or making noise and talking about other players. Jokic is the MVP this year. It's the MVP.
Please stop this now. Please stop this. Have you seen Luka's numbers? He's the only player averaging at least 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
I don't know any Lookman. The only Look I know is Ademola Lookman. Plays for Leicester City.
Rotimi, you just want us to acknowledge Luka. Luka is great.
I want to understand why players like Ja Morant are ahead of Luka in the MVP standings. It makes no sense.
Listen to the name.
He has a better winning record on the court. He has better usage rate. He has higher points average. So I honestly don't understand. Maybe it's because of the flashy dunks that Ja does. But aside from that, I really don't get why Luka is not being talked about half up to the point of...
Memphis and Ja are playing prime time football. They are entertaining everybody. So there's some
a bucket
bias.
Is a bucket, I guess. A bucket is a bucket. 2 points is 2 points.
Sure. As LeBron is scoring 50 and wasting start padding and his team isn't playing, another player is being more effective. That's what they'll look at. They also consider your position. Don't forget. Don't forget.
That's why I'm not talking about LeBron here. I'm talking about Ja Morant and Luka Doncic. If you look at their winning records
in the West, his team is number 2 seed in the West right now. You have to consider that.
Wait, without Ja, right? Memphis have gone, I think, 11-2. Without him, no. But you have to put that into consideration. You have to look at how important the player is.
For because Rotimi, you is for another day. Let's talk about your team another day. Because your own team, you are bringing Luka. Before it was LeBron, noise. No,
you have to win the title. You know,
now you guys don't even have defensive talk of kingship. You are now switching to.
You have to appreciate greatness now. The man that Jordan looked at and crowned as the next guy in this league, Luka Doncic. He's been simply phenomenal this year, John. Simply phenomenal.
Rotimi, drink water and calm down. drink water. Luka,
don't worry. We'll get into this on another podcast.
We'll talk about him when it's time. We'll talk about Luka when it's time. He will get his what they call his flowers. When it's time, he'll get his flowers. So it is time to wrap up. We've spoken for a long time, from Champions League to basketball and all, football to basketball, and March Madness is ongoing right now. A lot is happening. But that's by the way. Thank you very much for joining me, Rotimi. And thank you for joining me. Yeah, thank you for joining me, Akachukwu, as well. It's been good.
Yes, boss. Always at your service.
Yeah, so it's been wonderful actually for us, talking, and we'll do this more often, but it's just we are still trying to arrange one or two things logistics wise, someone in London, me and Akachukwu in Abuja. Our plan is maybe we'll be doing it from London, We'll even make it a video content, post it on YouTube and all. But thank you very much for being a part of Strictly Sports this episode. Don't forget to spread kindness around wherever you find yourself. Akachukwu, Rotimi and Johnbinho saying bye for now.